And then what about the durable power of attorney?
Well, the durable power of attorney, there is one for finance, so it works similar to the one for healthcare. And in that case, the agent in the durable power of attorney for financial management is not in charge of all of your assets. They can be, but they may be standing and waiting for some event, or they may only take over when you're on a trip or you're in the hospital, and you have concurrent power to manage your own affairs. And that can be troublesome if you're writing checks on the same checking account.
Keeping track of what's going on.
Yeah, so you need to coordinate that. But that can be a good way. Again, this is a very powerful document that allows someone to make decisions as though they were you. So they can sell things. You can do a limited power of attorney for specific purposes. So if you're going to be out of the country and you want someone to just manage your checkbook, or if you want someone to sell your house, so you can limit it. And generally speaking, that's a safer way to go. But if you have a very trusted daughter or son or brother, then the full powers might be acceptable to you.
Yeah. So these are all documents that relate to financial management or arrangements. When we say a conservatorship, something that really is provided in our, I guess, probate code, or
it's in the probate code.
Yeah. And so anyway, so these are all there to see to it that things are taken care of. And so, but it's really better, we feel, for the most part, if you can provide for it sort of in advance again, and it'll help to reduce the expense, make things much more smooth for your family, and so forth.
Well, we were talking about the estate planning package and all the documents that are included. So if you have the durable power of attorney for financial management, the durable power of attorney for health care, the advance directive, and the living trust along with a will is usually part of the package. Even a couple can do these together. And there are no occasions later when you object to all of the things that are happening. If you are still in agreement, this can avoid the conservatorship. So it can be very helpful.
Okay. So we were talking about in-home care. Why don't we go into that a little bit? So when do you favor in-home care, and what are other alternatives when a person's health is declining?
Well, I favor in-home care when it's important to the person who's living there and they have both the medical and the financial means to stay in the home. It's not always safe for someone to be there even with 24-hour care, because no human being can be right at your elbow all the time. Although I have known a number of people with sufficient funds, even when they're bedridden around the clock, to want to stay in their homes. So it really is driven by the desire for the person to be in their home and the continued understanding that that's where they are and the finances to do it. If there is a lack of any of that and they can't stay in their own home, or sometimes people are very social and they don't want to stay in their own home because they're isolated, then that might be an occasion when going to an independent living facility. There are those that have senior apartments, but communal meals and joint transportation and recreation and socialization, and that's very appealing to people who are widowed in particular. And some of those are freestanding independent living facilities, and some of them are a phase in a larger facility that has either a separate section for assisted living, or they'll have what I like to call patch services, so that if you have a need for, say, help with bathing or laundry or house cleaning or fixing, you could fix your food in your own place. Sometimes they have kitchenettes, or you eat communally, or setting up your medications. Whichever service you need, then there's generally a service for just that, or they'll have a full assisted living that covers you. Those facilities can have dementia facilities. So if you have Alzheimer's, for example, and it's advancing, you might not need any assistance at first. It's just a safe place for you to go. And then as you start to patch services, and then as your mental acuity deteriorates, then you might go into one of the dementia units. And some people have dementia services provided in an integrated way so that those people are more included in the larger community. And then some of those facilities also have nursing homes right on their grounds, or they're affiliated with one right next to it. Mm-hmm. So it provides some continuity. You don't have to keep moving around when you need different levels of care.
Okay. So we probably have about 3 minutes left, I'm guessing, just to give you an idea.
All right.
So in that time, I'm sorry, but can you talk a little bit about Medi-Cal and how this
Sure.
it relates to what we're talking about here?
Well, we're talking about financial financing these levels of care in the home and so forth. And again, there is long-term care insurance, but there really are few to no alternatives for paying for custodial care. So Medi-Cal is a government program, and generally speaking, the basis is that you need to be impoverished to use it, but that's actually not entirely true. There are a number of assets that you can retain that are exempted from counting to be on Medi-Cal, and there are protections for people, for spouses who are not in the nursing home, who are still living in the community, financial protections. Mm-hmm. So it's a very intricate planning process that you should see an attorney for. And I understand that you're going to have an attorney, or you have already had an attorney who will go into the Medi-Cal rules. So I won't go too far with that.
Yeah, so we'll have a program really devoted to Medi-Cal. But what it boils down to is if you don't have the resources to pay for care, there are some things that are available through government programs to help out. And now,
that's right.
Now the funding on some of this is a little up in the air right now, like here in California.
Well, that's true. We're always in some sort of budgetary crisis. Although the government also does have in-home support services mm-hmm. that are provided through the Medi-Cal agencies, the same agencies, and they'll pay for someone to come into your home and provide care. So that person who wants to stay in their own home, who doesn't need 24/7 medical intervention kind of care, just maybe someone to help with housekeeping and that kind of thing, and they don't have any money, that might be a possibility for them.
Now, do these benefits, the Medi-Cal type benefits, do they need to be repaid?
If you still have assets in your estate, your personal estate, mm-hmm. not your spouse's, but your personal estate, when you die, then the Department of Health Care Services can file a claim to receive reimbursement for the services that they've provided to you.
Okay. So we have maybe 45 seconds or so. Any final words of wisdom as we wrap this thing up?
Well, my final words of wisdom are to sit down and think about what you need, plan your documents, and by all means have discussions with your family or whomever it is for you who does that kind of, who might provide that kind of help.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Betty, I want to thank you very much for being my guest today.
It's my pleasure. Pleasure.
This is just such important information to get out. So anyway, you're a really terrific resource, and I appreciate you being with me here again today. So folks, have these conversations. Let's talk about these elder care issues and have these conversations in your family, and then seek the legal help and medical help that you need. And we'll see you next time on Financial Insider Weekly.